Hey guys, welcome back to Super Top 10s. Today we'll talk about the top 10 best Bruce Lee moments. Let's head into it. Number 10. The street alley fight in Way of the Dragon, 1972. As he sparred with well-known American action star and martial arts master Chuck Norris, Way of the Dragon really brought Bruce Lee into the international spotlight, way back before he became the popular internet meme sensation. The character of Bruce Lee, Tang Lung, crosses paths in this fight sequence with quite a few street thugs who are looking to give him the beating of a lifetime. All these gangsters with a multitude of weapons are of various shapes and sizes. However, they're no match for Lee, as he pulls his loyal nunchaku out expertly and delivers a series of blows to each and every bad guy until they're incapacitated. With these chain sticks, his quickness and fantastic abilities are legendary. Number 9. The NBA player fight in Game of Death, 1972. Bruce Lee led the way with Game of Death the same year as The Way of the Dragon, as he struggled through a ton of bad guys to reach the big boss battle, much like in a fun video game, and the size ratio of the good guy versus the villain was something right out of a comic book. Like these video games, where Bruce Lee was the short, slender yet muscular type, and his enemy was a 7'2" man named Mantis, played by Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, a basketball star. Although Jabbar was unable to kick over his waist, it was still high enough to land a few blows to the face of Lee, pitting those two against each other in the most perfect and entertaining way, including leaving a giant footprint embedded in the chiseled solar plexus of Lee. Number 8. The revenge fight in Enter the Dragon, 1973. In Enter the Dragon, Bruce Lee has a lot of killing to do. The American martial arts expert Robert Wuhl, who played O'Hara, was one unfortunate victim. This villain was responsible for killing the sister of Bruce Lee's character in the movie, and so we see an angry Bruce Lee's wrath unleashed. The two square off in a drug lords tournament where broken beer and wine bottles are used for guns, but Lee wins easily, taking out Robert Wuhl. An appearance by Steven Seagal to antagonize Wuhl himself would have been the only thing that could have made this fight seem better. Number 7. The basement fight in Enter the Dragon, 1973. In the form of the underground fight between Bruce Lee and the mini horde of bad guys, another entry from Enter the Dragon comes. Lee ends up in a series of warehouses in the basement style, where there's no shortage of bad guards and henchmen who brands all kinds of weapons. This fight starts with fists, but rapidly ramps up the carnage with bow staffs, and ultimately the amazing nunchaku, where Lee places the smackdown on everyone involved and demonstrates his gun expertise. Number 6. The Nunchaku fight in Game of Death, 1972. Bruce Lee has a superb fight sequence with Dan the third floor guard, played by Dan Inosanto, early in the film Game of Death. Lee and Inosanto were very good friends in real life, and their chemistry played out perfectly in the way of their impressive fight choreography on screen. The two men square off with a few sticks before diving into one of the best Nunchaku fight scenes in movie history, with Lee wearing the famous yellow and black striped fight suit, which was winked at by Uma Thurman in Kill Bill. With hard-hitting notes and fast-paced rhythms that could only be possible with two of the best fighters in the world, their epic battle plays out like a ballet. Number 5. The Chuck Norris fight in Way of the Dragon, 1972. Leave it to Chuck Norris to show Bruce Lee an impressive fight scene, and let his opponent win over his American audience with high praise and cheers successfully. The quick Bruce Lee pulls out all the stops to take down his worthy opponent, who was built up to a high degree throughout the film, in this epic fight scene with Chuck Norris playing a guy only known as Colt. With some hellacious chops, kicks, and a brutal chokeout against the Texas Ranger, Lee ends up winning the day. Bonus points to Lee for showing his dominance by pulling out Norris's glorious chest hair. Number 4. The knife deflecting fight in The Big Boss, 1971. In The Big Boss, otherwise known as Fists of Fury in America, Bruce Lee's first movie was also his darkest and most brutal. When Bruce Lee battled his way through gangs of bad guys to defeat the evil mob boss, in an epic fight scene with a knife, the landscape of martial arts cinema was forever altered. Hisayumi takes out a large knife in the climactic battle sequence and tries to slice the young Bruce Lee. At one point, Lee's face is harshly thrown by the sadistic crime lord's knife, which Lee deflects with a super kick that flies right into Hisayu's gut, which is eerily similar to the end of Big Trouble in Little China. Number 3. The karate school fight in Fist of Fury, 1972. In Kill Bill, Quentin Tarantino paid homage to this epic fight sequence when Uma Thurman faced Oren Ishii's Crazy 88 army of thugs. In Fist of Fury, otherwise known in the USA as the Chinese Connection, the iconic sequence of the gang surrounding her in a circle, where she pulls out her sword and everyone backs up in horror, was taken straight from this scene. In this scene, with a ton of excellent quick fights with each of the students, Bruce Lee takes on dozens of Japanese karate school students and their master, who were hilariously and easily made an example of.
Surround him!
Number 2. The mirror fight in Enter the Dragon, 1973. Enter the Dragon is perhaps the best martial arts movie ever made, and it's no coincidence that at the end of the film, one of the best fighting sequences ever takes place between Bruce Lee and Shi Qian, who plays the diabolical Han. Lee finds himself in a Hall of Mirrors type room at the end of the film, where he can't distinguish where the real Han is. So instead, Lee just Hulk smashes every mirror until he finds the real Han, who, among other weapons, is brandishing a Wolverine-style hand claw. For a rage boost, Lee even licks his own blood and ends up being the hero in this fantastic combat sequence. Number 1. The Ice Factory fight in The Big Boss, 1971. The best Bruce Lee fight scene takes place in an ice factory in The Big Boss, where the local boss of crime, including his girlfriend or cousin, No Judgment, somehow kills all of Lee's cousins. This sequence of ice factories is so intense and outlandish, and features Bruce Lee taking on a legion of henchmen, leading to the outdoors eventually. A lot of brutal weapons are used inside the ice factory, however, which paved the way for many other martial arts films such as On Back with Tony Jaa. In this particular scene, in one of the bloodiest Bruce Lee scenes, Lee utilizes sharp daggers, long knives, flashlights, and even a rusty old saw to slice and tear into his opponents. What do you think about these 10 moments? Which one was the best? Let us know in the comment section. This brings us to the end of our video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit like if you did, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on any of our videos in the future. Also, watch the 2 videos that are on your screen because I'm sure you'll love them. With that, I'll see you in the next video.